You know what my hyperfixations have been for the past month? Sea monkeys. They're those man-made little squiggle creatures that were a big fad way back in the olden days, the 60s. I have one objective today. What is a sea monkey? You can thank Harold von Braunhut and his goons for sea monkeys. It's heavily referenced that von Braunhut was inspired by ant farms and pet rocks. So inspired, in fact, that a year after Uncle Milton popped out ant farms in 1956, he had the idea for sea monkeys. Who is Harold von Braunhut? To put it simply, he was a crook. A kook and a krook. Other than sea monkeys, the man is responsible for other cultural icons, including X-ray specks, crazy crabs, amazing hair-raising monsters, and invisible goldfish, aka 3D glasses, hermit crabs, mineral crystals, and literally nothing. While von Braunhut manhandled the marketing, Dr. Anthony D'Agostino deserves all the credit for sea monkey inception. D'Agostino is a big name at St. John University in New York, where he took part in the New York Ocean Science Lab. He is such a big name, in fact, that in 1972 the United Nations commissioned him to investigate the cultivation of brine shrimp. This is how his path crossed with von Braunhut. D'Agostino saved Braunhut's failing business by engineering a new breed of brine shrimp. D'Agostino and his team at New York Oceanic Society, NYOS, broke the laws of nature by creating sea monkeys. Artemia NYOS is not a naturally occurring species in nature. Since sea monkeys' gimmick is instant life and are sold as eggs, von Braunhut couldn't just sell live eggs that could die in transit. What D'Agostino did was Frankensteined brine shrimp by reverse engineering their metabolism state using cryptobiosis and anhydrobiosis. Cryptobiosis and anhydrobiosis are ugly words that describe changes made to metabolic activity that can be reduced to an undetectable level to survive dry periods. Cryptobiosis is specifically for keeping the metabolism down, while anhydrobiosis is the life without water part. These two processes are the baseline for sea monkeys' instant life. Another one of von Braunhut's goons was Joe Orlando. He is the guy responsible for the iconic ads found in comic books. I'm going to read a quote from an article exposing how von Braunhut is a neo-Nazi. It's the perfect way to describe the collaboration between the two. Von Braunhut and Orlando took the elongated tails of Artemia NYOS as their grain of truth. It could be said with a leap of faith that they resembled a monkey's tail. That was enough. From there, Orlando birthed anthropomorphic cartoon characters that had elements of primate, fish, and sea monster, but also took notes from Hanna-Barbera. In the era of the Flintstones and the Jetsons, it didn't take much imagination to envision a tiny family at the bottom of the sea that cavorted and capered its way through life. Like I said, von Braunhut was a mad genius when it came to marketing. He bought up as many ads and as many comic books as he could and plastered the most iconic doodle the world has ever seen. Von Braunhut is quoted as stating, "I think I bought something like 3.2 million pages of comic book advertising a year. It worked beautifully." Everybody saw that sea monkey family of three with the MILF Artemia. You just don't see mail order ads like that anymore, do you? Sea monkeys really aren't that much different from their naturally occurring relatives, brine shrimp. Brine shrimp are the largest animals that live in the Great Salt Lake, measuring up to 15 millimeters in length. During migration seasons, they are gobbled up by birds. Their life cycle includes beginning as dominant cysts before hatching into active youth. After a short period of infancy, they grow into their naplier stage. Naplier, or napli, refer to the larvae anatomy defined by a medial eyeball surrounded by a discrete, unsegmented body with three little arms. In English, this translates to a tripod cyclops. After some more growth, they develop into juveniles and then onto their adult forms. This is the same life cycle that is found in our sea monkeys. Another cool thing shared between sea monkeys and brine shrimp is that they swim floating on their backs and are hypersensitive to light. Frankly, the only differences between the two breeds are size and Harold. Too many people have thought humanoid sea monkeys were made for the screen. Sea monkeys have had their own video games for the Game Boy Advance and the PlayStation, a TV show, apps, and there was a rumor of a movie producer buying the rights to sea monkeys in 2016. The most interesting thing to happen to the sea monkey brand happened in 1992, where CBS picked up a show produced by the Chiodo brothers that revolved around the quirky lives of gigantic sea monkeys. The show combined the Chiodo brothers' talent of claymation and special effects to humanize the three sea monkeys, Aquarius, Bill, and Dave. The show wasn't good. It lasted for only 11 episodes. Do you want to know who came up with this brilliant show? Take a guess. Howie Mandel. According to Susan King of the LA Times, Howie Mandel got the idea after being marveled that sea monkeys were still a thing.
Howie Mandel told Susan King of the LA Times that this is great.
This could be bigger than the Ninja Turtles. I guess Howie Mandel was right. The Ninja Turtles have a net worth of only $20 million, while the Sea Monkey brand has amassed $3.4 million. Now, to burst your bubble, with the words of Miss Lucia Peters. It is also worth noting that Artemia NYOS doesn't appear to be recognized as a species of Artemia by the scientific community. Lucia Peters, you and Pat Benatar belong in women's jail. You cannot convince me that sea monkeys aren't a new species. I don't care that you're just stating what the biology gods proclaimed. Nothing anybody can say will change the fact that sea monkeys are a new species. And I guess that's my brief synopsis on sea monkeys. Join me in part 2, where I take you on my sea monkey journey.